Hello and welcome again. Today I'm going to complement that lecture with a lecture on encrypted mobile messaging using Glyph. Glyph is a free and pretty unique encrypted mobile messaging system. Oh, and did I mention you can use Glyph to send and receive Bitcoins from your online wallet? Excited? I hope so, because I sure am. Let's get started. So you might be asking yourself, why do I need to learn some funny program with a strange name just to send text messages? What's wrong with the one I've got now? Well, plenty actually. Your text messages generally are not encrypted and are available to those clever or motivated enough to intercept them over the air. You have no idea how long messages are stored or even if they are encrypted for storage. Also, whenever you text somebody using SMS, you necessarily divulge your phone number. How lame is that? Okay, so what does Glyph do? Glyph does three main things, and it does them rather well. Glyph lets you send encrypted messages, including images, as well as Bitcoins via a slick behind-the-scenes interaction with an online web wallet like Coinbase. And finally, Glyph also lets you store and share personal information on a very granular level. For the geeks among us, and I'm sure there are a few of you out there, Glyph has some advanced features that you'll find really clever. Because Glyph stores messages on a central server, you can schedule message delivery, force messages to expire, and actually delete messages. If you are really hardcore, you can cut the proverbial cord and remove Glyph's master key from your encrypted data. They call this their lockdown privacy feature. All this does is remove the ability of Glyph admins to access your data, something that they need to do if you forget your password. Your data is encrypted whether or not you cryptographically prevent Glyph administrators from accessing it. So your options are Option A, trust that Glyph abides by their privacy policy and doesn't get their master encryption key hacked in exchange for help if you misplace your password. Or Option B, be master of your own domain, cut the ties completely, and suffer complete data loss if you forget your password. I don't know what their policy is regarding account deletion if you forgot your password while in lockdown mode, but you might lose your Glyph as well. Finally, Glyph lets you create anonymous and disposable email addresses on the fly. Thus, if you need to use email with a contact but you don't want to disclose your personal email address to them, such as on Craigslist for example, you can use a cloaked email address. While Glyph messaging is free, only your first cloaked email address is free. It will work until you discard it, but the next one will set you back $3. There are discounts for buying more than one. Oh, and you'll pay $5 if you want to enable attachments on your cloaked email address. Are there alternative services? Why are we highlighting this one? Well, yes, there are alternative services, including free open source alternatives. Glyph is, however, the only secure messaging client, at least at this time, that also lets you send Bitcoins. Also, from a purely practical perspective, this program is much easier to use than the alternatives, which is good for you, and therefore much easier for me to make a lecture about. That's a win-win in my book. Okay, so I'm sure you've been wondering, why in the world do they call it Glyph? Are they from ancient Egypt or something? Well, no. Or at least, I don't think so. Anyways, Glyph is a play on the word hieroglyph, the form of ancient pictographic writing, and it hints at their unique approach to usernames. To be specific, a username is called a glyph and is composed of 3 to 5 symbols called artifacts. For example, my glyph is pencil skull skull. I picked it because I'm a radiology resident and I should be studying for boards at the moment. Anyhow, feel free to add me to your connections. There are 20 artifacts that you can use to create your own personalized glyph. Thus, there are only 8,003 artifact glyphs. I had to work kinda hard to come up with mine. Okay, so are you ready to get glyphed? Well, take a look at the available artifacts. Take a moment and think about what combination best represents you. Happy hunting! So, what will you need to get started? Well, you'll need an iOS or an Android device, or a computer to use their web version, which, ironically, itself looks like an iPhone simulator. The sign-up is really straightforward. Point your device at https://gli.ph/m and download the software. Okay, so have you downloaded the software yet? Ready to get started? Okay, let's go for the whirlwind tour of Glyph. This part will move really quickly, so you might want to hit pause frequently and go back and watch a few segments again. But don't worry, the software is really easy to use and you'll figure it out even without the tour. Okay, so go ahead, download the software and open it up, and let's get started. Okay, first things first, click Tap to Customize to pick your glyph. Now, I've chosen Tree Heart Ice Cream because everyone knows trees love ice cream. Put in your email address and password and click Create Account. Now you can link to your web wallet. I use Coinbase, but here are your options. You'll get an email asking you to confirm your email address. If it didn't work, you'll get something like this. But if it did work, you'll get something like that. Now click Profile to start filling out information about yourself. Here I've put in a first name, a last name, and an email address and chosen to make the email address private. Now click Find Glyphs to go find your friends. Like me. I'm Pencil Skull Skull. Go ahead and add me. We can be friends. Now click Request Connection. Then put in a tag like an easy to remember name for me. Then you'll be taken to your list of contacts. I'm BEB Fellow. Click on that one. Now you can see all the things that you can do to this contact. Go ahead and click on Message. Here you can see our conversation. Now click on the arrow on the upper left called Glyph View. Now click Edit Facets I Share. Here you can customize what you share with me. Just tap the words Shared or Private to toggle them. Click Glyph View to go back and scroll down. For most contacts where I don't need high security, under the push settings I keep both of these on to make this more like the iMessages program on my iPhone. When security really matters, you need to do two things. First, you need to disable message content in push. You need to do this to prevent your unencrypted message from passing through Apple's push notification server. Second, you need to confirm your contact has done the same. You are only as secure as the weakest link between you two. Okay, now hit back and let's go to Settings. I turn email notifications off, but notification sounds on to make it more like iMessages. Now click the three horizontal lines representing the menu button in the upper left-hand corner to go back. Now click Connections. Now pick a friend and we'll go over some of the advanced messaging features. Here's some of the advanced features that you can use. If you click the little up arrow next to the Messages box, you can attach images, coins, set delivery or expiration times. That wraps up our rapid tour of Glyph. I hope I've been able to demonstrate some of the unique features of this secure messaging client, and I hope perhaps I've made it easier for you to start securely messaging people and sending people you know Bitcoins. Have a great day.